What's going on, Cancer? And welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and I hope you're feeling fantastic today. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, your shares. Your support really does warm my heart, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy your higher self has brought you here. You are in for an amazing journey. Now, the purpose of this channel, for those of you who have Cancer in your placement, sun, moon, rising, wherever, Cancer, this one's for you. And I do tarot card spreads based off our ruler, the good old moon. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, when she's going void, of course, just all of those lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems, just feeling cool. Just cool, dope energy all around here, Cancer. So, hopefully you all had a great weekend with that moon in Taurus energy. But the moon went void, of course, last night at about 6:03 in the evening, and that's going to be Central Time. And then she moved from Taurus into Gemini this morning at about 2:34. And with the moon being in Gemini, you may feel more talkative and intellectually curious. The mood is going to be lighter and a little bit more brighter. It's just good energy all around here, Cancer. And also with the moon being in, she's in a first quarter phase as well. And with her being in the first quarter, you know, we're moving forward here. You know, we're channeling into that chariot energy, you know, to getting your stuff off the ground and keeping that momentum. So just something to work with when we're dealing with this energy. And then lastly, the moon, or the deck that I'm using is the Wandering Moon Tarot deck. And I've included a link for this deck and other decks that I like using down in the description box below. So definitely check that out if you're interested, Cancer. But let's check out to see what energy we're working with today. And really coming off right off the bat here, we got the Temperance, Knight of Moons, Knight of Swords, the Star. And let's just break that down there, Cancer, because that's some dope stuff. With the Temperance card, you know, I feel like we were just talking about temperance last week. You know, we were at this place of where we were feeling unbalanced. We had all this potential here, this Star card that was coming up, but just for some reason we were just in the state of doubt here. But now, hopefully, I think that we've had some time to maybe kind of ponder this stuff, meditate over this over the weekend, you know, especially hopefully even during this void of course time, that when it was going down, that we were thinking about what it is that we want to pursue, and does that line up with, like, does our head match our heart here? And I feel like that's where, if we're still trying to struggle with how we find this balance with this temperance here, that's where we start. You know, if you know, it's one thing. It's one thing to feel like you were meant to do something, you know what I mean? But then to understand what that means and how to embody that energy, and to really, really get those two things when they're in alignment here, because that's where the magic happens, Cancer. That's when the Star comes in. That's when your potential unlocks, because then everything is in harmony. You know, we're trusting. This is really, I feel like, how intuition is unlocked. You know, like and I say unlocked in the sense of where the awareness comes in. And when you start seeing all of the signs starting to line up here. Because I feel like now we're getting down in this area here, we got a lot of Wands energy in reverse. And I feel like that this is time, while you're figuring this thing out, Cancer, part way is to just kind of slow down a little bit, you know? Because this, when you're really starting to find your groove here, we get excited, you know, we want to rush things, and then sometimes it's like learning how to run before you've even learned how to crawl. And it's appreciating that stuff along the way, and understanding that once you do start getting that momentum, this energy is going to start all flipping up here. Because right now, you know, I feel like with both of them being in reverse with both of them being in reverse, it's just that I feel it's that new discovery, because there's something really exciting about when you realize how you can refine the gifts that you've been working with, Cancer. I feel that it's something that it's just like your inner child wants to come out and play again, because it's just like, yes, there you go. It's almost like when you're playing a video game and your person levels up. You know how exciting that is. But now imagine doing that for yourself. If you haven't even, if we're still been kind of thinking about or trying to figure out how this balance is, do something for yourself. Tap into a skill that's been wanting to be refined. If you've been thinking about, let's say, learning another language, why not carve out 15 minutes out of your day to learn that thing, Cancer? It's right there for you. I'm not sure if maybe we think that maybe we can't, or maybe we think it's too late, or whatever the reason may be, Cancer. I feel like in the time that you thought of thinking for reasons you can't do this thing, you could already been doing some of that stuff there, anymore. And I don't, I get it. Maybe we're worried about what the other people may think about the issue. Maybe we're worried about, maybe we're doubting. I feel like it's a lot of this, maybe part of it's just like doubting this potential here. Because I think it's one thing for people to tell you that you're great, Cancer, but it's another thing for you to tell you that you're great. Because once you start doing that, then I feel like that's when just all the stuff just starts opening up here. And it can be something as simple as just like starting, like maybe doing some positive affirmations, maybe doing some doing maybe little things to treat yourself. Maybe go on a date with yourself, as far as like do something, just some nice things. If you want to go to a movie, go to a movie. You don't need anybody to go with. You're probably the funniest person ain't that right, Cancer? And why not enjoy your company a little bit? Because I feel like maybe that's where maybe that inspiration will start there. The wanting for self-improvement will kick in there, Cancer, because there's more in all of us here. And I tell you, there's something energetically that's been going on that I've been feeling, not just with you, but even when I go on my other channel. There's something up with the other signs too. There's greatness happening here, and it's about understanding within, understanding like us first, tapping into doing some soul searching. Because this card here, I like that this popped out. This is one of the special cards in this deck. There are 3 of them in there. It's the Wanderer, the Full Moon, and the New Moon. Now the Wanderer, this is about getting in touch with who you are, and really getting a deeper understanding of the tools that you are working with here. And maybe some of us might feel like, if we're trying to go in the same type of field, let's say, for example, if you're a musician and you're thinking that, sure, I've always wanted to maybe play the piano, but at this day and age, there's so many great pianists out there. How could I possibly stand out from the crowd? Well, Cancer, if you don't pursue that thing, you'll never stand out in the crowd. It'll just stay in the ether. It'll just stay a dream. But if you start practicing, start doing the work, different things are going to appeal to you than others. You may come out and you may take it and find a way to do something where you incorporate plants and piano. Maybe you start like a nursery where we play piano. Cancer, you can get creative with it. It's not about comparing yourself to others. It's about figuring out what works for you, and then make it, and make it yours, and then manifest it. I'll give you an example. I was just staying with some family, and one of my relatives, she made, instead of like making dough, she took the stuff from just the biscuit containers, like the Pillsbury Doughboy ones, cracked those things open, took a rolling pan to it, rolled them out, stuffed them with some goodies, and I was just like mind blown. And I took that home, and then I did something similar, but then I seasoned the bread a little bit, and then added some stuff and did a totally different thing. Same concept, different thing, both delicious. And this is where I feel like, Cancer, this is what, if we're doubting our potential, if we're doubting the fact that we can do something epic. Any more there? Okay. that I really feel like we're selling ourselves short here, Cancer, because you came out first row feeling hot. Now it's just refining this stuff here. It's acquiring the skills, because right now, if you're feeling that doubt, explore that, because that's showing you where you are, where what needs to be refined. If we're thinking about your weaknesses, they're strengths that are waiting to be discovered and refined. That's how I feel like we should always look at weaknesses, and let go of the fact that that we can't do this thing, whatever the limitation might be, because Cancer, the only limitation is ourselves. This anything else is just, it's irrelevant. You can make this thing work for your situation, and it's just believing that, and not comparing yourself to other people's journeys here. It's not about competing. Where there was a time where I was, thought about, I was a fan of healthy competition, but I feel like with where the energy is going, it's more about healthy collaboration. We really should get to a place of just like, yo, you have this gift, I have this gift. How can we enhance each other? What are we going to learn from each other? What alchemy can come from this meeting right here? Because that's where the magic is. That's where this stuff, where the energy comes in, Cancer. And let me show you as an example. Another awesome thing. I met this person, first time meeting, incredible. I absolutely love them. Got me this oracle deck here. We're gonna pull some oracle cards here, Cancer, because this is what happens when we collaborate here. She watches my channel, liked what I was doing. It was just like, yo, I noticed all your decks. You need an oracle deck. And I had been thinking about this, kind of on and off for a little while. None had resonated with me at the time. Here it is. You see, like, it's just one of those things, Cancer. When it lines up, it just lines up, and it's gonna make sense with time. And you know what? Let's see what oracle cards. One more. Okay. Yeah. Let's see what comes out of this, Cancer. We're going through a whole new experience here. We're changing it up. We're evolving, Cancer. And I feel like, the time of, I can't do this, I can't do that, why not? You can absolutely do whatever you want, Cancer. It's just realizing what tools that you're working with, and realize too, some of us felt like, maybe we've been dealt like a crappy hand. Those, keep them? Okay. If we've been dealt like a crappy hand or something like that, you could keep it looking like that. Or we could look at it as, okay, I got to play this hand at this point in time. It makes sense to use this here and then get the most out of that thing, as opposed to just like throwing it randomly and hitting every now and a while. You want consistency. Well, let's figure out how we can do that thing, how we can get consistent. So with the oracle cards here, you got the witch bones in the upright, and then you got the memory in reverse, and then the serpent in reverse. So let's talk about this first, because the witch bones for me feels like this is your foundation here. This is about tapping into your abilities, your potential, and because I feel like if we just understood the tools that we're working with, and I would like for it to be on an astrological level, but it doesn't have to be like that. It just, whatever makes sense for you. If you understand yourself through swimming, if you really get in your zone and you can really tune into your body and understand that, and helps you get zen, whatever. If we find it in nature, if we find it in painting, if we find it in I don't know, writing, like wherever that is, finding that foundation and then allowing that to express itself. Give that more space, because then everything else, I tell you, Cancer, really starts lining up here. And I really feel like with this popping up, this memory in reverse here, I feel like this is about, there was a period of time for all of us before you get into society, you start making friends, so all the opinions start flooding us. There was a period of time where nobody could tell you nothing. If you wanted to be the next superhero plumber, you were going to do it, because the sky, you had no limit. You know what I mean? It was nothing but dreams and opportunities. And that's where I feel like that tapping back into that type of energy, being in this place of just like, well, why can't I do anything like that stuff here? And then we can start to grow. We can start getting in this place of where because I'm thinking about the serpent card, and I feel like serpents, they're always shedding their skin, you know, they're constantly evolving, you know, that there's never a period of time where they're not changing there. And if we get to this place of where we're just kind of, if we diminish our growth, you know, it's just the journey, you know, the travel is just going to be uncomfortable and awkward, because we still have to move forward regardless. But why not work with the energies that we have here? You know, why don't we shed some of this old stuff that's not working here, so that new healthy skin can kind of come on this stuff here, Cancer, so that we can manifest, you know, whatever it is that you're trying to get here. So yeah, you know what? Let's. I think we're good to switch back over. In Cancer, you know, it's just like, because I'm going to be kind of even across the channels, you know, I'm changing stuff up here, you know, and does it feel uncomfortable at times? Of course, but it makes sense. It's something that I want to do, so why not, you know? And just see, we're just going to kind of feel it out for a little while, and then if something else pops up, then it'll pop up. You got the lesson from this thing. We keep it growing and we keep it moving. We chariot this thing all the way, Cancer. So just something to think about. There's some real soul searching that I feel like would come within. And I'm working on some stuff. I'm doing some self-growth myself. So I want to test this thing out before I really start talking about it. But there's something that I got cooking up in the mix, Cancer. So don't you worry. We're gonna raise this vibration together, because we're figuring this thing out together, Cancer. This is the big point that I want to bring across too. When I'm saying that, you know, it's a journey. You know, you and I are figuring this thing out together. You know, it's gonna be awkward sometimes. It may be a little sloppy. Hopefully, it's gonna be a little funny. But it's the work that we got to put in, and we could look at it as something arduous that we can resist, or we can look at it as something that's going to help us achieve just greatness, because we are in the age of Aquarius. You know, this is Aquarius's card, and Aquarius is it's networking and innovation. So yeah, I'm with that. So I think I'm gonna leave that there. So hopefully you like that, Cancer. Hopefully you like this style. Let me know what you think about it. I'm just gonna kind of do it like this. You know, I talk about, you know, being intuitive and all of that. Here's what intuition looks like on me. You know, it's growing, it's evolving. You know, so this is what I just want to show you, what you put my money where my mouth is. You know, so if you like that, give that a thumbs up. Share this thing, you know, if you know someone who might resonate with this, Cancer. If we're keeping ourselves in a box here, let's get those tools and rise up out of here. You know, let's tap into those abilities, Cancer. Subscribe, hit that bell button. You'll get notified when I release videos each day. I'm working on Facebook. I'm getting there, promise. And then professional. And then lastly, I assume you're here because you've checked your sun, but if not, check your sun, your moon, your rising. Check your chart, Cancer, because just when you get a chance, you know. And I'm cooking up some stuff, Cancer. Just stay tuned, and all that. But to say all that, check out my channel, Alchemist 8. Also, I don't think I told you what to do. Check out my other channel, Alchemist 8. I do readings for the other signs. It's different weekly themes, kind of similar pulls. We're just going to kind of feel the energy out. But all that housekeeping down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise card so I can get you out of here. Nice. You got the Lovers here, Cancer. Well, that's going to be we're going to pull two surprise cards. We're going to do one from the regular, one from the Oracle here. So, you know, let's get your surprise card from the Oracle deck too. Nice. So we got the Lovers. And we got Hands. And so, I told you this is going to be an experience, did I? I really feel like with these energies popping up, it's getting a grasp on what we love. You know, it's when I was talking about that Knight of Moons, Knight of Swords, that head and heart connection there. I feel like it's getting a full grasp of that, understanding, you know, what it is that makes you, understanding how you tick, and how you and your higher self work together, you know, because it's a team, you know. There's camaraderie there, you know, that this is that little voice in the back of your head, that gut feeling, that intuition, that's higher self. That's trying to help guide us to our best versions of ourselves. And this is something that I do feel like that once we really start understanding that and how that manifests in us and how to hit that consistently, Cancer, magic is going to happen. Something spectacular is going to it's brewing, and I'm going to keep saying it until more, because it's happening all around you, Cancer. It's just getting eyes on it and really comprehending what you're dealing with. So I think I'm going to leave that there. Stay safe out there, Cancer. Keep eyes on the moon, and I will catch you on the next one tomorrow.